Sandy Ingram here. In today's video, I'm going to take you through the numbers for something that I have truly feared for many, many months concerning the IQD and the IQD revalue or the IQD adjustment. Here's what I feared most: that Iraq would reprint their money. Now let me explain to you why. They are a small country. In every sense of the word, they are a wealthy country because they bring in not millions, but billions every month in oil monies. Now, the CBI appears to be the weakest link. And that's because they do not have control over the Iraqi banknotes. You know, that currency that we're holding. And the reason that they don't have control is, one, the banknotes were overprinted before they ever got into the office or became Central Bank of Iraq employees for most of them. And two, the Iraqi people will not participate in the economic growth of the Central Bank of Iraq, meaning they will not put their monies into the bank. Now, let's talk just for a quick moment about why they won't do that and why you might not do that either, regardless of how much the Prime Minister or the President of Iraq tells you that putting your money in the bank will make it all better for the country. Yeah. But if you're old enough to remember, you had lots of money in the bank in 2003. And then you woke up one morning and you didn't have anything in the bank. You lost all your money. Now, I'm going to give you the numbers, and I'm going to go off camera because I've got to read these numbers. There's a lot of numbers here. A lot of time went into research on this. But I'm going to share with you what used to be my fear. It's not my fear anymore, and I'll tell you at the end of the video why it's not my fear anymore. But I don't know if it looks any better for us as IQD investors who are not in the Middle East or who are not in Iraq. But before I go off camera, I want to say this. The last two videos, and one short video that the channel put out had to do with the slain religious leader from Iran. And the reason why that's so important is because the world is seeing just how close and how supportive Iraqis are to Iran. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of people on the street marching with the coffin of the slain leader from Iran. I don't think any of us were prepared for this. We did not truly understand the closeness of the two countries and how it was interlinked, especially on a religious level, to the heart, to the core of individuals in the two countries. Okay, what does it cost to print a banknote? Modern banknotes with advanced security features generally cost between 5 cents to 10 cents each. Now, if they want high security notes, then the cost goes up to 10 cents to 30 cents each. Now, this is per banknote. Now, many central banks pay around 10 to 20 cents for each banknote when they are reprinting their currency. Then the question becomes, how many banknotes would Iraq need? Now, the estimation is that Iraq would need somewhere between 4 and 8 billion banknotes. That's how many banknotes they believe are circulating. And yes, that includes the banknotes that we have in the United States and the UK and other parts of the world. But it may not include the banknotes that countries are holding. Now, the cost for 4 billion new printed banknotes at 10 cents is approximately 400 million for printing. If they decided to print 6 billion banknotes at 15 cents, that would be 900 million US dollars. Now, if they go all the way up to 8 billion at 15 cents per banknote, that would be 1.2 billion US dollars to reprint the money. So yes, the answer is reprinting the money, the thing that I have been most concerned with and consumed with already, thinking that Iraq might do that, is very expensive. And there's additional costs: designing the new notes, anti-counterfeiting technology, shipping notes from the printer, the insurance, the storage, the ATM calibration for every ATM machine in Iraq. Now, it is estimated that this would have cost between 100 and 300 million. So the total estimates, and you can get your calculator out on this, a realistic estimate low estimate is 600 million. A likely estimate is 800 million to reprint the currency. A high estimate would be 1.5 billion. Now, the next thing you would have to ask yourself is, or the next thing that I asked myself is, well, can Iraq afford it? And surprisingly enough, the answer is yes. Yes, they can afford it. Iraq's foreign exchange reserves have generally between 90 to 110 billion. That's with the B, guys, billion, in recent years. Even 1 billion currency replacement would represent only 1% of its reserves, making it financially manageable. So yes, Iraq could afford to reprint their currency. Now, why would Iraq reprint their currency? Now I can go down the list: better anti-counterfeiting protection, remove damaged notes, add new security features, replace notes held outside the banking system. Hello. Replace notes held outside the banking system. Encourage people to exchange cash through banks, increasing financial transparency. In other words, the CBI would have control over the currency, something they do not have now. Let me repeat that. Reprinting the currency would automatically give the Central Bank of Iraq control over the Iraqi currency. So you see why I've had that fear, why I've been living with that concern? But here's the deal. Changing or reprinting the currency would not automatically change the exchange rate. But what it would do is it would enable an adjustment right around the corner of the Iraqi dinar. Now listen to my words real carefully. They could increase the value of their currency so much faster, so much easier, and with more confidence if they reprinted their currency. Now you're saying, oh, well, wait a minute, hold on. What I just explained to you in the numbers is exactly what Zimbabwe did. And Zimbabwe went from triple-digit inflation to currency worth 3 cents to $1 US. It was so far off the Richter scale before the Zig came into the picture that nobody even wanted to think about investing in the Zimbabwe currency. But Zimbabwe gave everybody a 30-day, I'm not really sure how long, I'm going to look that up after this video, I really am, how long Zimbabwe gave every Zimbabwe citizen or person who held the currency that was used in the country at that time. Zimbabwe gave them 30 days, let's say it was 30 days, to turn in their currency. Now, if Iraq did that, we'd be in trouble unless we were prepared at a moment's notice to pack up and go and slip into North Iraq, Kurdistan region, and exchange our Iraqi dinar for the new reprinted currency. So don't look at me sideways and say, oh, she's just talking. This is proven strategy. Zimbabwe did it, and they did it perfectly. But let's talk just for a quick second on why I'm not so worried about that anymore. 5 years ago, I wasn't even thinking about digital currency so much for a country. But now, things are changing. The world wants to go digital. So why would Iraq reprint currency if they are planning on going or joining the world and going digital?